Welcome to the developers blog of our new game demo Inner Demons. In this video I would like to introduce you to the concept of the game and give you a little insight into the development process. In Inner Demons, the player faces their everyday challenges, inner conflicts, fears and expectations in an abstract form. The scenario takes place in the player's subconsciousness, where they face monsters on different levels, each representing one of these challenges. Battles are fought in a turn-based fight. In addition to the base skills and items, we give the player specific items and skills for each boss, which can be found in the intermediate levels that are planned as future content for the game. The player has to work out a unique strategy for each boss, each of them representing one of the challenges of everyday life. You fight these bosses in a humorous way, using stink bombs, sugar shields, and other fun items. Neither the abilities nor the items are explained in the game, so the player can experiment to their heart's content. It is important to us that we give the player this freedom and also provide an explorable world in the intermediate levels, in which the player can live out their urge to discover. Now I would like to talk a little bit about the development process before I show you the existing prototype and tell you what is planned afterwards. First, we decided which design ethic we want to take. So far, we only had the game idea and a female warrior as main character. Although we briefly considered a 3D cardboard box character, we quickly settled on a Nordic-inspired 2D game with a watercolor-inspired aesthetic. The original main character was intended to be a red-haired female warrior. But since we live in a time of gender equality and want to encourage and promote it, we discarded the feminine features in the development process and gave the hero tougher, more masculine facial features. The red hair could also be interpreted as a part of the helmet decoration, so the player can decide for themselves which gender the hero or heroine has. After a brainstorming session on which combat system to use, we found the turn-based fight to make the most sense to incorporate the specific abilities. After the planning for the levels and possible intermediate levels was done, we settled on a concept for the first boss, who is named Procrastinatos. Since the everyday struggle we chose to address is procrastination, as it is a serious opponent, but at the same time not a threatening boss in everyday life. After some exciting designs, we decided on a sticky slime monstrosity. We consider Procrastinatos as a striking example that represents the other planned bosses. The sound design went hand in hand with our graphic work and content creation. With the title screen, our sound designers created a soundscape that adds depth to the Nordic ambience. The focus was on creating an authentic atmosphere for the game. The piece sounds soothing yet gloomy at the same time, which is representative of the main character's emotional world. This way, the player gets prepared to face their inner demons. The sound design of the boss fight is a variation from the melody of the start screen. The piece consists of an intro, 2 parts, and a transition. The second part is a distorted form of the mythical title melody. The design was inspired by the anatomy and the symbolism of the boss. The bass symbolizes the lethargic slowness of the boss, while the rustling papers, ticking, and the marching rhythm of the drums represent the time pressure associated with procrastination. To indicate the progress of the battle, we added variation in the music. While we are winning, the hero plays his lute in addition to our original theme, to lighten the mood. However, as soon as we lose, the bass becomes deeper and the melody calmer. Later, the boss size should also correlate with the sound design. Based on the boss phases, there will be customized boss themes for status effects like enrage and vulnerable. In the already existing prototype, the player can compete against our first boss, Procrastinatos, who is just waiting in a slimy cave to pelt the challenger with their procrastinator work, overwhelm them, and later drown them in his lake of slime. So far, a basic function can be selected for each of the 4 interaction options to test the basic mechanics of the game. A debuff that can be applied to the boss is already available. Later, a sophisticated attack system with a deep debuff and programmed random occurrence system will be implied. To make the fight more exciting, some bosses will use finisher attacks. This can be bypassed once you have found the right item in the intermediate levels. If not, it's game over. Although, the later following save points will give the player the opportunity to restart again and again. To pass the daily grind, giving up is not an option. During the creation of the first boss level, we immediately noticed that classic health bars do not fit our game type. Therefore, the bar will later be converted into an emotion meter. This shows how positive or negative the hero feels. The size of the player and the boss scales opposite to each other, depending on the emotional level. If the bar is in the negative area, the player feels small and the character shrinks, while the boss grows, encouraged by our emotion. If the player stays positive through a working skill interaction, the boss shrinks. If the boss is small and intimidated, the player can decide what to do with it. In our planned game, the progression system is linear. As our hero grows from the various challenges mastered, the size of the boss he must defeat also grows. This is to address more difficult everyday problems from level to level. So far, the game has been a collaboration of 5 people working on it sporadically over a few weeks as a part of an academic project. If we decide to continue the project, we would like to hire an expert on everyday problem solving as a consultant to help us locate your everyday struggles and make appropriate design decisions for future bosses and hero abilities. For the gameplay, more character animations, save points, and intermediate levels of course, and eventually some puzzles and riddles will be added in the future. If you're interested in the project, you can find the prototype on itch.io to check it out. Thank you for watching and feel free to leave a like and comment your thoughts on our concept. And have fun playing!